Pikin Asemaba Charlie Saneba. So GOV versus Mr. Ofori Atta. Our former minister, who is currently being detained in the US, is facing charges, apparently between himself and the immigration authorities of the US. From sources, he was scheduled to have a court hearing on the 20th of January. So when this man appeared, in the person of Mr. Ofori Atta, I learned the judge requested to see 720. So what does 720 mean? So from sources, it says detainees are given specific identification numbers. It's by policy. That's what they do in US and elsewhere in other countries. So detainees and some prisoners are given specific numbers, and those are the numbers they use to identify them. They don't necessarily call them by their names. So it was referred to as 720.
Former finance minister appeared before the court. I just wanted to watch this, and I'm going to give you a background description. What you see there in your right frame is Ofori Atta taking off his jacket. He is wearing there an overall, and I'm going to get clarity for you what he's wearing. Is it uniform? And thankfully, Janelle will join us, give us clarity on this, because this is all very new to us here back home. But it appears that he's wearing something that looks like a detainee's uniform. He has the marks on his face. This is just before he sat down. He then sits down, and very calmly, in front of him, at some point, he had a bunch of papers that he was in front of him. He had a pen, and every now and then he would reach out and attempt to scribble something. But he sits very calmly, and that there is our former finance minister, Ofori Atta. And there's something that also struck us today. We know him as Ofori Atta, but before the law in the US, he was just known as 720. They didn't mention his name necessarily. They just 720. Just is 720 here. They first thought 720 was at Farmville, and Farmville is another of the major detention centers, I believe, in Washington, D.C. And then there is also the Caroline Detention Center. And then the lawyers, two of them, there was a Megashi and there was Chasing, said, no, he isn't at Farmville, and that he is rather at the Caroline Detention Center. So pause for a second, pretty surreal stuff. Ofori Atta, former finance minister, served since 2017 to 2024. He was just a number before a United States immigration judge, 720. Let's get some clarity around what has happened today. What do we know? We know that the issue around whether this can be public came up, and the judge granted the request for this case to be held in camera. So it's going to be private. We're not going to have access like we did today. And let me bring in Janelle. Janelle is an immigration lawyer, and she joined us last week and gave us some very fascinating insight into the way this process will go. And I'm delighted to say that she joins us again live from the USA. Janelle, thank you very much for agreeing to talk to us. I know you're very, very busy today, so I'm just going to go straight to the point and get some clarity around this. Is it pretty normal for a case such as this to be held in camera? And I asked that because I was on that call. Not that call. I was in the virtual hearing, and I could see that several cases were called before Ofori Atta, and yet when his case was called, he gets the judge to agree to hear his case in private. Explain to me what's happening there. Is this pretty normal?
Okay. All right. So first of all, thank you so much for having me on your program this evening. And I'm sorry, the sun is setting right now in the US. It's coming right through my window. Okay. So first of all, generally in immigration proceedings, most immigration proceedings are open to the public. Okay, so as you have just stated yourself, all the prior cases that were called before Mr. Ofori Atta's case, they were open to the public. You could see what was going on. However, when his case came up, his lawyers requested for an in-camera hearing. Basically, in-camera hearings are private hearings where only the respondent, his attorney, and then also the attorneys for the government and the judge are the only ones that are present. It's typical in cases where privacy is considered necessary. Sometimes there are sensitive issues that are being discussed, or there are issues of national security. So in some way, his lawyers have convinced the judge that this is a sensitive issue, and for that reason, it was made into an in-camera hearing. So as you saw when Mr. Ofori Atta first walked into the room, what would be normal is to have a public hearing. But the very first thing that his lawyers did request was to make it private.
Okay, and in matters such as this, the judge granted it, like, so the judge obviously saw some merit in the case.
And then also, I learned his lawyers requested for some form of privacy. So they put in an application for the hearing to be held in camera. And I learned judges usually take certain factors into consideration when such appeals are made, like the man's right for privacy or something like that, the sensitivity of the case at hand, and national security issues or protocols. So all those factors were considered, and luckily enough, his wishes were granted by the judge. So his hearing will be held in camera, that's in private. Yes. Yes. So it turned out that the judge adjourned the case till April 27th for another hearing. So this is gonna drag for a while, and then eventually a decision will be made based on whether there will be an extradition or possibly a deportation or anything back to Ghana. Then also, in a twist of events back in Ghana, the pressure group called Arise Ghana. So Arise Ghana, being led by Mr. Bernard Mona, also have started picketing at the U.S. Embassy, in front of the U.S. Embassy, to make some appeals regarding the same case. So their requests and demands are this. They are requesting the U.S. government, through the U.S. Embassy, to assist the government of Ghana.
It will make any difference at all. Let's speak to Bernard Mona now. Bernard Mona, good morning. Hello, Bernard Mona.
Good morning, Chief.
Yes, how are you, boss?
Good morning, Chief.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Moro?
I'm fine, thank you, Bernard. I hope you're doing very well.
By your prayers, I'm keeping well. Currently at the frontage of the U.S. Embassy.
What are you doing there?
Requesting the U.S. We are asking that Ken Ofori Atta should be returned, and the United States of America is keeping Ken in the U.S. We think that there is a lot more questions for him to answer in Ghana than to be detained in the United States of America. Consequently, we have to picket at the U.S. Embassy for the next 2 weeks from today, so that we can demand of the United States to return Ken to Ghana.
But the matter is in court. What do you want the U.S. authorities to do?
Well, I'm not sure that there is anything about court when the courts of Ghana are competent to handle the issues involving financial impropriety, the issues involving domestic debt exchange and the consequences they have had on the economy of Ghana. That President Akufo-Addo himself regrets so much. There is nothing about keeping Ken Ofori Atta in the United States. He committed no crime apart from visa overstay in the United States of America. What he said in Ghana has to do more with financial impropriety and others, and that is why we want in Ghana. So we are confident that the U.S. will extradite him after our picketing in the next 2 weeks, after which, if they are not able to extradite him, we will review our operations. For now, we are picketing from 8 o'clock to 4 p.m. daily for the next 2 weeks. After that, we may review to sleep over the United States Embassy in Accra.
Oh, so Bernard, are you, in other words, suggesting that the court processes must stop, must halt? Ken Ofori Atta brought back to Ghana to come and face justice? Is that what you're asking the U.S. authorities to do?
Before today or before now, Ken Ofori Atta was not a wanted person in the United States. He has always been a wanted person in Ghana. And therefore, if you have to go by the accounting principle of FIFO, first in, first out, then he should be brought to Ghana to face the justice in Ghana. If thereafter, he can go and face any justice thereupon in the United States of America. But what he is facing now has to do with his request for permanency in the United States of America. He has overstayed his visa, but he has also applied to the United States so that he can have permanent stay in the United States. Unlike the earlier stages where he indicated that it was out of ill health that he was in the United States. Today, it is no more about ill health. It is about fear of what they will come and do or what will happen to him. And I'm saying that we are not hyenas, neither are we cheaters to want to eat Ken Ofori Atta alive. All that we want him to do is to come and handle the situation that he has gone through with the people of Ghana. And that's basically it. I'm not sure that anybody wants Ken Ofori Atta's meat for anything.
But if you listen to people who are very close to him, so Mr. Kofi Bentil, for instance, is somebody who is very close to him. I'm talking about Kofi Bentil of Imani. If you listen to Mr. Frank
coming to the U.S. Embassy, you can see the sirens of the police.
Yes.
They have brought in their riot control equipment, and the place is buzzing with music. And so I have to move a little further all the way towards Lord of the Wings in order to do this interview with you.
Oh, okay. So what it means is that we may have to call you back. Is that it?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Wow. That's Bernard Mona. He's one of the conveners of Arise Ghana. He tells us that they're protesting in front of the American Embassy, which is right here around Cantonment in Accra, Ghana, where they are requesting from the U.S. authorities through the embassy here in Ghana to release Ken Ofori Atta for Ken to come and face justice in Ghana. I was just about to ask him that, in fact, he says they'll be doing this for the next 2 weeks, and they'll start at 8 a.m. and end at 5 p.m. every single day. And on days that they are tired and they can't go home, or they can't find, they're tired, they can't go home, they'll just sleep in front of the U.S. embassy. I don't know whether they
to extradite or maybe even deport our former minister to Ghana to participate in the investigation process and to help investigators unravel this mystery surrounding his dealings whilst in office as the Minister of Finance. So this, I think, in my opinion, are humble requests that should be heeded to. I think they are planning to do this for days, every day from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on daily basis, and even stretching to weeks. And if those demands are not heeded to or taken into consideration, They plan even bringing their pillows and mattresses to sleep there. So these are really interesting times. I pray and I wish to see more of how this critical issue surrounding Mr. Ken Ofori Atta's case will unravel as the days go by. So let's keep our fingers crossed and keep an eye on this channel as we keep updating you on daily basis about the proceedings, about the happenings and events relating to this issue. I'll keep you posted on the latest happenings, events and happenings relating to this particular issue. That is the government of Ghana versus Mr. Ken Ofori Atta. So a quick disclaimer. This channel has no political affiliation to any party. We try to discuss issues as and when they come up. This platform gives the opportunity to share views all across. So please hit the like button if you need more of this, or subscribe, and also comment in the comment section. I can't wait to hear your comments and read some of your comments. This is my candid opinion. The man has to come to Ghana and participate in the investigation process. This is not a matter of witch hunting or anything. I think this is the first time we're having a finance minister trying to domicile from his home country, trying to run away from investigation. I think you have nothing to hide, nothing to run away from. If you haven't done anything wrong, why run away and be giving extreme excuses for your absence in Ghana, using medical conditions and whatsoever? I think he's fit now. The fact that he appeared in the court for his hearing simply tells the fact that he's fit to be in Ghana to participate in an investigation. So simply that. So just put your comments down there and let's have an open discussion. Thank you and see you soon.